Hey everyone, guess who's back? Me! I am back! I've been away, I've been on holiday, and look, I've got a hat. I went to Alaska, as you do, and went dog sledding and stuff like that. It was really cool. I don't go on holiday much, so I try and do cool stuff when I do. But I am back now, and the only time we're going to be skipping another bit of video stuff is there's a trade show coming up in the UK called EGX, and we will be there. It'll be me and Jeff and a guy called Lovepreet Singh, I think I've got that right, who will be showing off the game to people at EGX. We've got a little booth with two PCs, and we'll have stupid little toy robots and stuff like that. And badges and stuff. Anyway, that's not for a little while. Well, it's about a month, I think. Anyway, so I have been away and I've been back less than a week, I think. So I'm going to talk about some of the stuff that has gone in kind of recently, and then what we're going to be working on next. Let me just fiddle with these settings a little bit. This is my current test factory. I had someone say that the Detroit map got slow when you filled it up. How do you fill it up? I mean, so this is my current production line, and I'm managing 37 cars an hour, which I think is quite a lot. So I've got oh, hang on, don't need that anymore. So I've got two lines coming in here where stuff starts. Go along here, blah blah blah. That's all the chassis stuff and the battery production, which we'll get new graphics for soon. It goes along here, just have the roof done, where I've split into 3 lines. Then it goes up here, bum 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 bum, past all of my marketing, all of my research rather. Then it comes through here, which is doors, which can be a bit of a bottleneck at the moment. So we're making servos and we're making windows and stuff like that. So there's doors and windows. Then it goes up here to be painted, then dried, then second coat of paint, then second coat of paint dried. We've got some QA stuff there, and then polishing the paintwork. Then it goes through here for the engine stuff, so we get the powertrain. That's not a bottleneck, as you think it might be. Through here was the other engine stuff, like exhaust radiators, blah blah blah. Then it goes along here into 3 lots here where we do brakes, and wheels and tyres, which has been a bit of a bottleneck. Then it comes along back into this area where we can fit the headlights, and then from the headlights it goes all the way down there, splits again to have the seats made and put in. Then it goes back, and for a 3rd time back into this area here where we just do the end bits. This is the cabin and the controls and all the electronics, the QA, the emissions checks, and then finally it either gets shipped out there or it goes back on this long line all the way up here and then back down here to be shipped out there. Now this is relevant actually, because I think one of the things that I need to improve is I need to improve the rate at which you export stuff. Now, if you look here, there's 2 upgrades. There's computerized sales and expedited sales, which speed things up. It's still 2 minutes 30, which is slower than a lot of the upgraded slots along the way. So I am going to be adding at some point an extra upgrade here, which will be extra sales staff. So you can see here, there's room to add more people, right? To have another guy there and some extra guys with clipboards. Yeah, there's a Z fighting issue there I need to fix. I know, it's on my list. It's on my list. So anyway, that's going to be a new thing that's going to be going. This is my current test factory, and it runs stupidly fast on my PC, and my PC is not that new. My graphics card is certainly not new. So I'm quite pleased with the performance of it at the moment. But I know people like to build and build and build, and I do want to support that. So what new stuff has gone in? Well, we added in the new pricing model here, and the new user interface for it, which has changed recently so that you get percentages. So you can see 51% of the cost of this car is the component cost, 31% overhead, and 17% capital cost. that's kind of like an approximation. If you hover over these things, you get like a breakdown of how it's calculated, and will now give you a gross profit of 22%. Now that doesn't necessarily mean that that's accurate in the moment. It kind of depends how many cars you're producing and whether or not you're in a spike in production or not, and all kinds of other stuff. But it gives you a rough idea, and it should be a real warning if you see that as, if that's ever negative, then that's really bad. And unless you've only just started and you've got no kind of background on how many cars you've produced. The reason these are all flashing is I was doing some testing because this thing here was not quite working, where you get this little hazard icon. That's telling you that you've got some of these. So if I click on this and I hover over it, I can see that electric windows and a sunroof are common for a car in this price range, which is budget. And this is true. If I switch on electric windows and I switch on sunroof, then that will go away. I don't have to do that, but it's just saying that we're heading towards those products being, those options being universal. If they're universal and you don't have them, you'll really take a hit to sales. And you'll notice when I do that, it doesn't change the price of the car at all. It just changes my profit margin. So maybe I should increase that. But what you should check is here, sales per hour and in showroom. If you're not selling many and you've got loads in the showroom like this, that's probably overpriced. If I check in the showroom there, yeah, so I've got 8 of these. That one's got defects, but that one's, they're saying poor value for money, poor value for money. No one's looked at that one yet. Anyway, that gives you a kind of overview of how we sort of look at things in terms of cars selling. So yeah, so we've got this new pricing GUI here. It's so much better than the old GUI. It's so much better. Loads of bugs have been fixed. We had a few bugs to do with pricing. They've all been fixed. What else have I got? I don't want to talk about just like minor GUI things. Blah 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 blah. And I should icon for computer. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Here's a thing, right? If you disconnect a slot from, say I do this, right, these errors are popping up. I'm just going to pause it so it's not interrupting. Now, in the old days, what this would say is just no route to stockpile. Connect to a resource conveyor to this stockpile. There's a bit of a bug here, actually. Anyway, to do with the spacing. But it wouldn't tell you what resource. Now, I've disconnected this from like the entire resource network, so it's flagging up all the resources that it needs and that it can't find a route to. But it could be, for example, if I was producing sensors, let's test this. This will be exciting. Say let's make sensors, and I connect. Hang on, I've got to get it right. So if I connect that to that, and then that to that, and then we press play. Yeah, you'll see. Ta-da! Oh, hang on. It should go away. See, who knows what's going on now? We're in uncharted territory. I think it's because it doesn't actually have any yet. So, what we should... I've done it the wrong way round, haven't I? Tell you what, let's try that again. This is like live something like that. So yeah, so if we do this, right, there you go. So what's going on now is that this slot requires a load of stuff. It requires light bulbs, it requires wood, it requires chrome, and it requires sensors. Now it's connected to sensors here where I'm locally producing them. It's not connected to the others. And this now shows you that by having the right icons. That looks like the same thing twice, but it's probably 2 different types of airbag. That's probably saying passenger airbag and driver airbag. They're actually the same resource. I should probably fix that. Anyway, that's a new thing that I think is kind of cool. There was a random crash that happened for no adequately explored reason. It's fixed. Blah blah blah. What else have we got? Oh yeah, when you do some research that unlocks a new slot, like there were 2 examples that really confused people. One of which is this polished paintwork, and another of which is aircon. Where's aircon? Bit control. It's around here somewhere, isn't it? There we go. Aircon. These are like new slots, and almost everything is an upgrade at an existing slot. I'm going to put it how it's meant to. Except those two at the moment. So the first time you research one of those two, what the game does now is it pops up a new tutorial window to kind of point that out, because some people are getting confused. I feel like I might be damaging my branding by not wearing the hat. I'm going to wear the hat. I'm going to swap hats to maintain my sort of branding. This feels really, really light and airy compared to a baseball curve, actually. Okay, so let's talk about what will be going in. I've ordered loads of text to be translated in preparation for getting some artwork, which is going to let us add a whole bunch of cool stuff, including a new like minivan thing and a load of new features like air suspension, active spoilers, which are like spoilers on cars that go up and down depending how fast you're going and stuff like that. We're going to get larger touch screens. We're going to get all sorts of parking sensors and some self-driving auto steering and auto lane change stuff that will require new chips. So at the moment we have a sort of chip manufacturer. No, we don't have chip manufacturer yet, do we? But we just have one sort of chip, and we're going to have AI chips. We're going to have chip manufacturer with guys in white suits in clean rooms and stuff. It's going to be cool. So we're going to have all of that. The big thing that I keep talking about and I haven't started on yet, and I keep kind of putting it off, and I slightly put it off because people keep voting down the priority of it now, is defects, and not defects, is breakdowns and reliability. Not of the cars, but of the equipment in the factory itself. So, for example, this slot breaking down, these robots stopping working, for example. We've talked about this before, and I still am not 100% sure the best way to do it. I'm going to reread everyone's comments on it and think about it a bit more, because I think it should be in there, but I want it to be relevant and interesting. I don't want it to be in any way be annoying or to involve a lot of pointless clicking. I think the worst way to implement this stuff would be where you just have things that pop up going breakdown, and you zoom in and go fix breakdown, fix break. You don't want to do that, because that feels more like work than like a strategy game, right? So I think it needs to be a case of being able to take preventative action there. So we'd probably have a new slot which would be like, you know, a maintenance department or whatever that you'd place down. I would be very tempted to make it like an area of effect, but we don't have any other mechanics in the game that work on area of effect, so that might be a little bit annoying. And the other thing is, I cannot have this situation where, for example, if this slot breaks down, rather than fixing it, we just demolish it and build it again, because it's no inconvenience. Now, partly that is because the slots are too cheap, I think, but partly also because they're built instantly rather than it taking any time at all to build a slot. But it would be a mammoth change to the way the game feels, I think, if I was to change things so that placing down a slot meant it was under construction. Now, I know that happens in a lot of strategy games and building games and tycoon games, the majority of them, in fact, I would say, and it therefore, like, it's an established thing. But do I really want to change that? I don't know, and I think the game is really fun and cool at the moment, and I don't want to break it. So I'm really taking my time on putting in an implementation of the breakdown stuff, because I absolutely want to get it right. Other stuff that's on my list to go in, people keep talking about having an apply all option when setting an import priority. I don't think I've got it researched. Oh yeah, I have. So you know, maybe being able to go like shift click here to set it for all of the fit horn slots. I need a nice way to do it. There is a little bug at the moment that some people say that if you lay a conveyor belt line like that over an existing slot, so for example, what people are saying is if you have this yeah, and then you do this, you get charged for putting a conveyor belt down there. When it's already there, it's already part of the slot. I haven't checked that that is the case, but that's on my list of things to fix. So yeah, there's the equipment reliability thing. Then the next thing on my list is really an improved level editor, because there's a lot of bugs in the level editor, and I know that they cause some errors that show up. So I need to fix that. It really depends when I get some artwork, because I've got loads of variants of different wheels coming. I have variants of different lights and different front grills, and I think it would be cool if, when you're in here, to be able to cycle through loads of additional options. Like, we can go alloy wheels or not here at the moment, but you'll notice there's only one sort of alloy wheels, and I think I've got 4 or 5 coming. I think it would be cool to put them in, and that's a really popular choice when I ask people what should go in. So I don't know what I'll be working on next. As always, it's interesting to hear from people what they think the priority should be. I think we've crushed a lot of bugs recently, which is a very good thing. So that's a summary of, like, you know, what's been going on. Like I say, I was away in Alaska, so I didn't get much work done while I was, you know, on a glacier, unfortunately. But I'm back now, and loads of stuff will be happening. It's all going to be exciting and cool. I'm really keen to get like some more artwork in there, and that's just a matter of waiting for when the artist is free. So thank you for continuing to play the game and continuing to watch these videos. Like and subscribe, blah blah blah. And next week, hopefully, I will have implemented some sort of equipment reliability stuff, or at least I'll have a proposal for how I think it should work in the game that I'm confident of. And then I'll like lay it out and discuss it and maybe demonstrate it, and people can go, no, that sucks, or that's really cool. It's really going to be quite difficult to get it right. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week.